This film for me was a journey. Was it worth it? Was it the best film? Let's find out. Okay, hello guys, I'm Nona Prince, and today we're talking about the Malayalam film Nanpakal Nerathu Mayakkam by Lijo Jose Pellissery, written by S. Hareesh. Now, this film was first premiered at IFFK, where I went to watch it in Kerala, but my bad luck, I couldn't catch it. And then the film released in January in theaters, but it didn't release near me, so again I couldn't catch it. And finally, now I watched it on Netflix. Lijo Jose Pellissery is one of my favorite filmmakers around the globe. And I think before watching his cinema, you need to have a disclaimer. You need to know not to expect anything ordinary, anything which we have seen many times, because he loves to challenge not just himself but we as audience who are watching it. His cinema is very elevated. You cannot really confine it in a mold of a 3-act structure or trap it in a boundary of a single genre, and that's what I love about him. But that also stops his cinema from reaching every kind of audience, because it's not a mass film. And not to generalize, anyone can like this film, but it's not catering to the norms of what a big mass enjoys, especially in these days. So it's understandable that some people don't like this film. They feel it's a gimmick, it makes no sense, etc. And those are the things that define most of Lijo's movies. I've seen most of his films, and you can actually find all my ratings on my Nokia profile. You can see all the films I have rated, and when you click on them, you can also find my video review there. The app also shows you what your friends and people you follow are watching and have rated. You can also find out about the new releases, either in theaters or on OTT platforms. And the best part is, if you follow me, you can actually recommend me movies which I have not seen. So you can just click on the film, you can either add your review or recommend it to me, and there's a chat feature where you can message me also. All the recommendations show up in my profile, and I can easily see what people have recommended to me and which one to watch first. I get a lot of recommendations in the comment section, but it's hard to keep a track of them. But on Nokia, it just shows up in my profile and I can easily follow. So if you want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description as well in the comments. Come join me there. Now, the film had a lot of hype. Even at IFFK, everyone who had seen the film told me it's one of his best. The film has a lot of elements, and I want to break it down one by one. So if you have seen the film, then only continue watching. First, I just love the absurdity he brings in his films in simplicity. The film takes its time. The inciting incident happens at the 30-minute mark. And before we reach that point, there are 6-minute long sequence of just Mammootty walking through the village. 6-minute long. And it's fascinating, not boring. And the way the film is presented, it is like a theater, it is like a stage play. And that's how the film is framed. Every scene we get a wide angle still frame. Just like when we see a theater play, we see everything on the stage. Similarly, in this film, we see everything. The filmmaker is not telling you where to look at. He is not directing you. You can look at anything you want. And in most of these shots, multiple things are happening in the foreground and the background. And that's why the more you watch this film, the more new things you'll discover. Throughout the film, there's just one close-up scene, which breaks the continuity, but that is important, that is needed, because it is done at the time of a revelation. The sound design in a Lijo film is always amazing, and it's the same here. We constantly hear movie dialogues, songs, TV shows coming from the TVs playing nearby. And honestly, I don't know any of those references. They were adding to what we were watching, but for me, it was hard to connect to the deeper meaning behind it. I'm sure I missed out on a lot of references, so do let me know that in the comments below. The premise of the film is so simple yet so interesting. A group of people are returning from a pilgrimage in a bus. They all doze off, and suddenly, one of them, played by Mammootty, wakes up as someone else. Someone who's missing for 2 years, considered dead, and is from the village where the bus stops. Before this happens, he's a Malayali, doesn't speak much Tamil. But after he wakes up, he's a Tamilian. He speaks fluent Tamil. And now everyone is wondering what has happened. Now, there are a lot of theories what has happened. There are a lot of hints also in the film that may guide you what has really happened. But Lijo, as always, want to keep it open. We as audience can decide what has really happened. Now, there's a theory that maybe Mammootty's character knew that guy and he was just acting. Then there's a theory that it's a psychological thriller. Maybe it's all a dream. When he was in the bus, nothing of it really happened. And then the biggest one is that there's a supernatural angle involved. The ghost of the dead person took over his body unknowingly because his soul was wandering. And by the end, he got moksha. Now, to signify that, there are some shots of the crow waiting. Now, one of the viewer and the member of the community, Andoga, pointed out that at 1 hour, 30 minutes, 23 seconds, there's a scene where Mammootty's character has found out something is wrong. He has eaten the lunch and is now walking outside to sleep. But before that, while he's going out, he stops for a middle. You can see his shadow on the wall, and then he walks out, but the shadow doesn't move. And we cut to the crow now flying off. And then we know when he sleeps and he wakes up, he's back to normal. So for me, the supernatural theory fits the best, so I'll go with that. To talk about these things, it's really fun. It's exciting. But there's a deeper thing the film is talking about. And for me, that is what makes this film great. Because underneath this whole premise, there are nuances. There are things that film is talking about. The themes it's tackling, which is biases we all have for each other because we come from a different religion, different community, different state. And I love the way how he breaks it all down into this film. We have two groups. One are Malayalis from Kerala, one are Tamils from Tamil Nadu. Both this group follow different religion. Now when we start the movie with one group, we see that there are issues between them. They make fun of each other. They badmouth each other behind their back. And then we see the first group getting introduced to the second group. And what do they think about them? That they are dangerous. They'll kidnap their kids. And even something worse than that. They don't want to stay in the village for a long time. They don't trust the villagers. What if they kill them? And we see how people are differentiated based on their identity. How we create a divide among ourselves to such an extent that we don't even consider the other person a human. And among all of this, an incident happens that brings a change, that brings everyone is human, how we can all help each other, how we can stick together, and how through that we understand and accept each other. There's a lovely scene at the end where Mammootty is standing in the middle and both the families are looking at each other and then fold their hands. And for me, that's the scene of the film. I love the way how Lijo brings out the natural performances from his actors. I'm sure a lot of them are not even actors, they're first timers. But the way he blends all of them and make them look simple. And especially in this movie, Mammootty. Where was Mammootty? I didn't see him. He was lost. Just like how I didn't see him in the teaser, I couldn't see him in the film because he was just that character. He never stood out as a great legend. No, he was lost in the milieu. He was just behaving like everyone else, mixed in the crowd, and you cannot detect anything else. I know there's so much to talk about in this film, all those wild theories. I'm sure we all miss something or the other. So for that, we will do a live stream. We'll break it all down. So do join us for that. Do check out Nokia. I'll put my link to my profile in the description as well in the comments below. Thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Now recently we did a live stream talking about Mukund and Unni as well as Thankam. You can check it out here where I said Malayalam cinema is back. Why is that? You can find out there. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button and I'll see you next time.